Hey, y'all, welcome back. That good enough for you, Ralph?
Sounds good to me.
This is River Talk 2.0.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, just a little jab in there.
Jab
Ralph.
there.
He's in good spirit. He's been with us on many an occasion.
Right, so we don't mind jabbing him a little
Absolutely.
bit. He knows us
just
now.
a little bit.
Yeah, he
so
knows
that's
us.
one. Two
Yeah.
more strikes and I'm out.
That's it.
That's
it.
one.
That's one.
Well, good to have you back, friends.
It's great to be back.
It's a great time to talk about baseball. There's never a bad time to talk about baseball.
That's true.
Now, you're a man of many talents. Do you remember that he was in the advertising game?
Yeah.
Yep, and he got out.
Got
Smart
out.
man. He was in the television game.
Got
and
out.
He got
Got
out.
out.
Smart man.
Yeah. Now he's in kind of like the radio
Now
television
I'm
game again.
retired,
He's-
so I worked it out well.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah.
We're going to spend a lot of time with him here on the show, and we'll talk about some of his books and get a little more in depth with each and every one of those. But baseball, we kind of touched on that the last time you were here, and
Yes.
it's kind of a unique story, baseball in Belize. Now, when I look at the All-Star game, I see a lot of kids from Central America that are playing in the major leagues, but that's not the case in Belize.
No. Belize is the only country in Central America with no organized baseball program. And that has benefits, I guess, but it also creates some problems. My wife and I were visiting with a pastor that we work with in Punta Gorda, Belize, which is down in the southernmost part of Toledo district. And it's really, as I've been to Africa a number of times, and it's the people there live in much the same way, and they're very poor and very desperate in a lot of ways. So we were asking the preacher, what could we do if we brought a mission team down here? What would we be able to accomplish? And he suggested, well, we can do some construction. If you bring youth down, we can do a youth program with the youth in the area. And then he sort of dropped the idea, well, and I have 90 kids that want to play Little League, and I've got 2 bats, 2 balls, and 2 gloves. And I looked at him because I figured that isn't much of a ball game.
No.
And so while I was there puzzling this thing out, my wife said, I'll take that. And, you know, I sort of climbed up off the floor and said, pardon me?
What?
But her son played Little League ball, played T-ball, played Little League, played Pony League, played high school ball, and actually got a full ride to play for West Georgia University.
Okay.
So she said, I know what baseball can do for a young boy. So we started, we got back from Belize, went back to Colombia, and we started asking people, how can we get some used baseball equipment? Where can we go? Who can we talk to? A friend of mine owns the Lexington Chronicle, the newspaper in Lexington County. And he said, I'm going to introduce you to Bill Shanahan. This Bill owns the Blowfish, the Lexington Blowfish. The Blowfish is a sort of between semi-pro and amateur. It's made up of guys who have signed contracts to play for a college team.
Okay.
So they're a little better than the run-of-the-mill amateur baseball players. So we talked to Bill, and he was intrigued by the whole idea of here's a country with no baseball and therefore no baseball equipment. So there's nobody to go to if you want to play. So we started collecting equipment. In fact, he came up with the idea of having a ball game where if you brought used equipment to give to Belize, you could get into the game free.
Okay.
And so we did that. So he was instrumental. The guy from the newspaper was instrumental in telling people that we won't use equipment. And then the Rotary clubs have been involved and have provided equipment and some money, which was good to have. But we have we've sent enough equipment already to outfit 5 teams.
Okay.
4 baseball, 1 softball. And we got a warehouse with over 1,000 pieces of equipment that we'll transport to Florida. We have a ministry in Florida that flies mission stuff to Belize.
Okay.
So we're able to get it from the U.S. to Belize with no cost.
Wow, that's tremendous.
That was
Sure is.
unbelievable when we found that. That
Yeah.
made the whole thing possible. And so my wife, well, they call it Sybil League because of her and her interest in it.
Okay.
And so,
That's really neat.
It's kind of a nice tribute.
and the first organized baseball game was held May 11th of this year. And we were down there for the ball game. And she actually threw out the first ball.
I was getting ready to say,
For the first organized baseball game in the country of Belize.
We're
Wow.
talking organized baseball game, period, not just with kids.
Period.
That's phenomenal.
No
that's
baseball
history.
at
That's- She just did history. She just pulled history
Yeah.
throw there.
And you're a historian, so
And I'm a historian.
I
on
know. I
all
hope
that.
you remember it next week.
Yeah.
But he's a historian.
I just thought it was historic.
I think it's incredible.
All right, boys, let's calm down over here.
All right. So, but there have been all sorts of wonderful things happen. They actually, at the end of each practice session, they have a Bible study. So this is a church that's bringing kids to them through something other than just, hey, come go to church. And the other side,
you could have some fun with that.
yeah, and
I
the
mean,
other
like
side,
whole-
the other side of it
That's
is
great.
so good is it isn't just Baptist or Methodist or whatever. The church is a independent Christian church. They already have a team at a Methodist school. They have another team that's at a Catholic boys' school.
Wow.
They have another team that represents an entire community. And they've got 12 teams asking for equipment so they can play.
That's great. That's going to bring everybody together.
Oh,
It
yeah.
does.
So that's awesome.
And we had the mayor of Punta Gorda, which is the district seat, say that he wants baseball in his town because he thinks that it will take the kids off the street,
Sure.
give them something to do so they're not out there trying to figure out how to cause trouble. That's how he said it. So I'm so happy that he's interested.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
So this is just beginning to snowball,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm expecting big things. Well, how does one get plugged in?
Well, it's easy. If you've got equipment, and I thank you and the deacon for offering to be a collection place. If
Did we?
somebody,
I mean, I just asked the question. Okay, now we're
How
collecting.
big's
now
your
you're
garage?
involved.
Does there?
You got a large garage like me?
Yeah,
You didn't have your hand up
we can
when I
handle
asked
that.
who
We
can
can
help.
handle
No,
that. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah,
we
we'll
got it.
work it out.
All right, good. Deal. But if you have,
It's just a
used
lot
equipment-
easier if I do it on my own.
Yeah.
But, it works.
If any of the viewers have equipment in their garage or in a closet or anywhere that's just sitting and not being used, or
Okay.
if they're part of a team that has extra equipment, if they'll get the equipment to you, I understand you'll take care of it for me and I
Sure,
can come pick
we'll
it up.
get it to you.
Yeah.
And
we'll
listen, money's another way people can help. And
Yeah.
so
All the ways.
for us,
And it's a great. It's always a great time to give, really.
It
there's
is,
a-
and
you guys are recognized as a 501c3.
we're a 501c3, so
Okay.
it's tax deductible. The donations to James 127 607 Ashwood
When you said
Circle.
James 1:27, I was like, well, he's going to throw a Bible verse at me.
That's
That's
what I
a
thought
Bible
there for a
verse.
minute.
That's what the name of the organization is.
How about that?
And 607 Ashwood Circle, West Columbia, South Carolina, 29169. And we'll be happy to provide tax letters so that it's completely deductible if someone wants to.
You've got that right, Andy? You got that on the screen there, pal? All
I
right,
love
our
it.
man.
I love it.
Good.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, we're going to get Sybil
Yes.
to join us later on
Right.
in a broadcast. And
She
we'll
knows
get her
more about
perspective.
what's going on than I do.
I mean, isn't that always the case? There's always a great woman behind a guy who thinks he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Got you back for
Yeah.
calling me historic.
Now we're even.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll send in the relief pitcher for the save, in other words. Hey, we'll be right back with more. Check out this video now from our good friends at the Oaks.